People with mental illness are not necessarily bad people. Every kind of mental illness has some sort of like quirk to it that makes people with those mental illnesses have certain special abilities. Schizophrenics are often really good at art. Bipolar people are often really good at things like stand-up comedy and spoken word and acting. So it follows down the line. People that are sociopaths often are good leaders, like teachers and things. Narcissists have their certain abilities. Psychopaths have their certain abilities. But being somebody that attacks people with these abilities, based on those abilities, is a person that is not a good person and is an ableist. And in order to be an ableist, you kind of have to be differently abled. Because in order to have that level of psychopathy, sociopathy, and narcissism, in order to perpetuate bigotry, you have a mental illness. So if you are mentally ill and being attacked, you are probably being attacked by somebody else with mental illness. If you are black and you're being attacked, you are probably being attacked by somebody that is not black. That is a complete difference between racism and ableism. So like every aspect of a person has a certain ability, and it is possible to have all the qualities of a bipolar person or a person with mental illness without suffering. You can be somebody that is intelligent without having Asperger's syndrome or autism. You can still be a highly intelligent person without a mental illness. The people that have mental illnesses that have these certain abilities usually suffer because of those abilities. If you're not suffering and you have these abilities and you're not causing others to suffer, then you don't really have a mental illness. If you were going out of your way to be like a leader or a revolutionary or an artist, it's possible to be really, really good at those things without being mentally ill. But if you're mentally ill, you're going to have suffering associated with it, which will make your abilities better for others. But if you take away the suffering, you will lose ability to do certain things. If you take away the suffering associated with schizophrenia, you won't be as good of an artist. So suffering is pretty much something with mental illness. If you suffer any kind of like mental anguish, you probably have a mental illness. And a lot of people have depression. But if you're like a hateful person, like you perpetuate racism or ableism, the guarantee that you have a mental illness, even if it's a societal problem, is pretty much 100%. It might be a societal problem. Racism might be a societal problem, but if you are a racist, I'm going to say it's both. You have a societal problem of your upbringing, and you also have a mental illness. I think that if you are a racist, you are mentally ill, and that you are a psychopath, a sociopath, or a narcissist. Even if the racism is indicative of our culture, it still does not excuse people that are racist from being diagnosed as having mental illness. The same goes with ableists, age-phobes, and the like. If you are a bigot, you have a mental illness, even if society accepts your bigotry.